So to get the rest of these questions to work, we're going to need to modify the relationships in the linguistic schema slightly. So let's export the linguistic schema and open it up inside of Visual Studio Code. This first question, how many cogs were returned by each customer? We're going to need to modify that customer's return products relationship. So let's go find that. There's the return entity, and here we have customer returns product. So what we need to modify is the role product to give it a quantity. By default, roles are automatically inferred from the phrasings, but in this case we need to make that role explicit. So we'll add our roles. Here's our product role, which maps to the product entity, and it takes a quantity, which is the quantity of the return. So now this relationship says that customers return quantities of products. Now the next question, when did customers buy cogs, requires us to make a slight change to customers buy products. So here on that relationship, what we need to add is an additional semantic slot. In particular, the when. And when this relationship occurs is on the order date. That's good. Now the next question, where were the most orders shipped? We need to find that shipped relationship. Let's go here, find that. Here it is, order is shipped on a ship date. So here we already have semantic slots for when, but we also need one for where. So in this case, where to ship to is the customer's city, because that's what we want to see when we're asking for where were the most orders shipped. Now, one thing that we need to not forget to do is take control of this relationship so that it does not get deleted and automatically regenerated. So we can mark that as belonging to me rather than belonging to the system. The phrasing, that's okay, we didn't change it, so we can leave it as auto-generated. I might want to also modify the name of this relationship just to make it a little more clear, so that we have order shipped to city on a ship date. Now we can save this and import it back into Power BI Desktop. Good. So now let's try those questions and see if they work. Open this up and try how many cogs were returned by each customer. D. Cameron returned 25 cogs rather than just one, so that's good. Let's take a look, make sure that looks good too. E. Rigby, S. Holmes, different numbers of bedisters. So we'll add that to our working questions list and delete it from here. How about when did customers buy cogs? That looks good. Now we're getting order dates instead of return dates. Add that to our working questions list. And where were the most orders shipped? And we're getting cities instead of full addresses. Perfect. Add that. Save the results. So the next thing we wanted to try was this question, customer summary for E. Rigby. But we needed to define something that is the customer summary. Now I have over here a report that I've created that I'd like to be the customer summary. So all I really need to do is give that page a name, and that's more or less sufficient. Because at that point, if we go over here and look at the page, we can see that Q&A has automatically been turned on since I gave the thing a name. Now I might also add some additional synonyms here, such as customer stats or anything else that I might want. Back here on the filters for the page, however, I should take a look, and the name filter that I've added should be marked as require single selection so that Q&A knows that this is actually a parameter to the report. So once I've done that, I can go back and ask my question. for the customer summary for eRigby, and it will show that page. I can also add additional filters that were not parameters to the page itself, such as for 2015, and it will filter that down to just 2015 information on the customer summary for eRigby. So I'll go ahead and add that to my questions list, save that, and it does in fact look like we have achieved everything we've set out to achieve. Hopefully this series of lessons and exercises has given you a basic understanding of what it takes to optimize your model for Power BI Q&A. So until next time, remember, time flies like an arrow, but fruit flies like a banana.